Good evening, council members. I'm Father Dave Newhart, recently retired from parish ministry and a resident of this fine community for 13 years. I have sat and worked with many of you on the council before. I have major experience in the corporate world before I went into ministry late in life. Certain comments about education and that somebody has more education than a lot of people doesn't make you smarter. It just makes you more, well, it doesn't give you any common sense at times. You might have a lot of knowledge in a certain area. My point is that I wrote to some of you council members, and I got a very nice response back from everyone that I wrote to, except for one who claims to be for the community, but however did not respond, and I was very kind in it. I've worked in the corporate world. I work with the church. I mean, if you want to talk about volunteerism and working with people that have a lot of different diverse ideas, you should try and be a pastor. That's all I can tell you. But we work with consensus. And while we may not agree with everything and we come to that conclusion and we say, okay, we can work together and not be at each other's throats all the time, which does not bode well because it sounds like two kids out in the parking lot fighting. And I'm sorry, but you are positive, you're supposed to be positive representatives of this community. Now, have I always agreed with the city council? I can tell you no, Andrea. We're on good graces, okay? There was a time in which there was a petition that came out, there was a resolution that came out that was going to stop all flea markets. And that included my church. Now, the problem is that we are classified public service residential. Now, if you're public service commercial, you're able to do it, such as the VFW and the American Legion. By the way, I am an honorably discharged veteran. I serve my community, and I do take my hat off when I do the Pledge of Allegiance by showing that. I've worked with this council many times. There was a time when as I was alluding to, and I ended up coming in here and I ended up talking with the attorney, the city mayor at the time, and the city manager at the time. And I worked with Ms. Hoy here. And it came to a good, positive resolution through that. But the reason is that the council listened to their constituents rather than having an own personalized agenda. And so I'm not here to point fingers. I'm here to admonish you for your behavior. I'm here to say that I'm a valuable constituent in this community. And if you can't work together and collaboratively and in a consensus form without badgering each other, then you really don't need to be in a public position. Because this community is one of the finest communities I have ever lived in. And even though I've retired, I'm not leaving this community, and I will stand for this community. But I want to encourage each and every one of you, quit rattling swords. It gets you nowhere. And be the representatives of the people. There's a great constituent that'd like to see you removed, especially 3 of you. I'm not here to say yes or no on that. I'm here to ask you to do what is right. What's right for this community and your constituents. Because if you don't, you're only making a fool out of yourself. Thank you very much. Mayor Dodd, thank you. And we look forward to having our ceremony in September for both 4th of July and to honor our Memorial Day. Remember, Memorial Day is about those who died in service. Yes. Veterans Day is about all veterans. And Armed Forces Day is about those who are serving. I'm proud to have served my country. Charles Malty, thank you for serving. Ed Dodd, thank you for serving. Jim Hill, thank you for serving. Thank you and good night.
Pastor, may I ask your name again and the name of your
David Newhart. I live at 120 Larchmont.
No, I just want to know your church.
Yeah. Oh, I can't go there anymore because I'm retired.
Oh, okay.
But I spent 13 years there in this community. But I'll be here anyway. You retire from parish ministry, but never as a priest.
Yes.
Yes.
Mayor Dodd, thank you for your great representation. I don't know how to follow up some of these fine women. Miss Andrea Coy, Michelle Morris, Tracy Cole, and then of course I saw Reverend Newhart come up. And I just want to get on the backside with Andrea Coy. As far as they're talking sugar sand, I came up several months ago when I applied for the police pension board. And there was things said that I was untrustworthy, dishonest about sugar sand, and they couldn't put me forward. And the former attorney, James Stokes, said defamation per se. And he put the council on notice that if you allow him to go further speaking about the same matter, it puts the council on board. So I agree with Ms. Coy about a cease and desist, because nothing ever happened on those regards. As far as former Chief Morris, the defamation of her character, and she has the utmost character, and I saw your proclamation earlier, and I know she served on several more boards than you could even know about, because I served with her in many of those regards. Mrs. Cole, who came forward with some of the numbers about the recall election, and I'd like to say, she didn't say it, but they got recall numbers that are greater than the current council members total in the past election. And again, with Reverend Newhart, who I love him very much, and I just got to throw it out. We always make fun of him because he was in the Air Force and not the Army, and he loves me for that. But that gentleman, he always gives it the way it should be spoken, and I love him very much. Thank you.
Thank
Mr.
you,
Mayor,
sir.
can we identify who that was?
That was Bob McPartlin.
Bob McPartlin?
Yeah, he was,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
he was.
Bob McPartlin.